First of all, it's really thankful for this interview. So we read the memo you published. Basically, I have to ask, what is the background of the huge theme of this memo and the title of the window of change for investors, please?
The memo does not have immediate implications for investors. I mean, there's nothing where you should read it and say, oh, then I have to do this. This was big ideas, not small ideas, big ideas. It strikes me that since we've all been locked up during the pandemic, the key thing is that every day is like the next. There's no variety. We don't travel, we don't go out, we don't have holidays, we don't have events. Every day is the same. And in the investment world, there has been relatively little change over the last year or year and a half. We have a very strong economy, incredibly strong markets, worry about inflation. Those things were true a year and a half ago, and they're true today. So these things, you know, if you said to me, okay, well, what's different? Nothing's different. All those three things are just going on. But there are some changes going on in the larger sense, and that's what I wrote about it. And I wrote a memo back in January called Something of Value, talking about my experience being locked up during COVID with my son and his family who moved in with us. Nothing is forever. The world used to be a stable place. Nothing changed very much. Today, change happens all the time. Historically, in the investment world, there have been two schools of investing, growth and value. And I'm a value investor. I don't theorize about the future too much. I emphasize the present. And we used to say value investing is about today and growth investing is about tomorrow. But in a changing world, even value investing has to consider the possibility of change. We can't say, I love this company, I love its competitive position, I love its product, and I don't have to worry because it'll always stay the same. Today, we have to assume nothing will stay the same.
Will you and Oktri take some different, but more general investment approach amid the window of change?
We have our investment philosophy and we have our process. And for the most part, we continue that. And that doesn't change from time to time. What changes is that sometimes we're more aggressive and sometimes we're more defensive. And I think that rather than say buy, sell, in, out, I think the most important thing is today, are you more aggressive than usual or more defensive than usual? And my answer at the present time is neither. We're in a normal stance.
Normal stance.
Normal stance. Normal balance of aggressiveness and defensiveness. In March of 2020, when the disease struck, we turned very aggressive. And we are very experienced and I think very skilled at becoming aggressive when everybody else gets panicked. And of course, if they panic and sell, and we are aggressive and buy, that's the best formula. And that was the case in March of 2020. And we bought aggressively. Then, however, the Fed and the US Treasury came out with a rescue program, and the panic went away. The urgency to sell on the part of investors evaporated. And there was no reason anymore to be aggressive. So we went back to our normal stance. And I think that the markets have come too far, have risen too far to be aggressive. But I also think that the worrisome conditions are not here to be highly defensive. So our behavior is, for us, normal.
Do you think the stock price of the company leading in the U.S. economy, like the Apple or other things, is currently at a reasonable level, or tendency to getting a reasonable level, or getting down or getting up?
I wrote a memo in July, you may have seen, thinking about macro. And what I said in there is I think today's stock prices, including the great companies like Apple and Amazon and so forth, they're high, but they're not irrationally high. There's a reason why they're high. The main reason is because interest rates are so low. And interest rates play a direct part on determining asset prices. Today, we have the lowest interest rates in history. So it would be reasonable if we had the highest prices in history. Interest rates are likely to change.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hike.
You're doing this with your pen. Interest rates are likely to go up. They're more likely to go up than down. Interest rates up, asset prices down. The prices of these stocks may be reasonable for today's level of interest, but if interest rates go up, it's reasonable to expect these prices to decline. If that's the case, then I think you have to have some concern about the level of the prices of all assets. But I think that the likely developments may be negative for asset prices, but I don't think a crash. I think a moderate decline. The likely decline is so moderate that it's not worth getting out of the market to avoid it. That's the key. The key question is, what should the investor do? If the decline is likely to be moderate, and if you don't know when it's going to take place, then you should stay in and not disrupt your investments, and continue to participate in the long-term benefits of being an investor, and to accept that there may be a decline, but probably not too big and too imprecise as to the timing to be able to do anything about it. Too many people who manage their own investments believe that it's important to be active, to make a lot of decisions and take a lot of actions and trade a lot. But the truth of the matter, the most important single thing for most investors is to invest and not disrupt it. Leave it alone, let compounding and corporate growth work in your favor. I think if I can summarize my message for your viewers, there are two important things. Number one, if people are going to do their own investing, they should be humble. They should not overestimate what they know. The other thing is, as I said before, you should invest and keep your investments running. Don't interfere by getting out of the market and in the market and out of it. Jump from one to one to one to one. Stay in, let it progress. And if you invest, if Korea grows and companies grow, and profits grow, then the investor is certain to succeed in the long run. We can't do anything about the short run because of all that we don't know, but we're certain in a growing economy and investing in growing companies, we're certain to succeed. And that's what people should keep their focus on.
Okay, thank you so much
My pleasure.
for today.
Good.